Well, welcome everyone to ICF Orange County. We are honored that we have Paul Benke here with us today, who is going to be talking to us about or engaging with us around the aligned coach, unlocking authentic business growth. Um, do you or your clients struggle with knowing the best way to build your business? If all the templates, funnels, and marketing hacks aren't working for you, do you want to know why? If so, you're in the right place. Yay! Our speaker today is an author, workshop leader, and certified life coach. He helps global audiences see why their business building efforts aren't working, and more importantly, how to authentically turn things around. When he's not helping others build their business, pe- people in his life know him as a decent cook, lover of British murder mysteries, and a mediocre swimmer. Please welcome Paul Benke. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back here again. I am really looking forward to our time together. Now, I noticed in the chat, Rania just put a link to an action guide, which I would encourage you to click on and download. This is a PDF, which is like a little workbook that we can work through. It's a way to help you take notes easily. It's a fillable PDF, so once you've got it on your computer, you can just type in little boxes. You don't have to print it out or anything like that. I would encourage you to grab that. I'll give you a second to do that. And maybe, Rania, if people show up after this point, maybe you could just put that in the link in the chat again so that they have access to it. All right. So I believe it was in, let's see here. Oops, I've got to move something around. Here we go. So in 2024, there was an estimated 34,000 ICF certified coaches in the US. Okay. Now, in that same year, there were an estimated 70 to 80,000 business coaches ready to help those 34,000 business coaches build their business. Now, that's more than 2 business coaches for each coach. And when you consider that some of those ICF coaches are also business coaches, and some of them are also internal coaches, this ratio becomes even more lopsided. Now, by just a quick raise of hands, how many of you have studied something other than business in college? Any English majors or science majors or, I don't know, religion or whatever? Okay, looks like most of us. So most of us didn't come into our coaching businesses with an MBA. So getting help from someone who did study business makes total sense. I mean, it's a smart thing to do. I certainly needed the help. I mean, I didn't know my ROI from a KPI or funnels or lead gen or CRMs or conversion rates. It's like, what do these words mean? I have no idea what's going on with them. And I love talking with some people in business, and they talk about the TLAs or the 3-letter acronyms. Is just filled with them. And I had no clue to any of this. Now, I'm also curious, by quick raise of hands here, who here has hired a business coach? Anybody? Okay, 2, couple, not so many. All right, that's cool. Now, I'll be completely honest. I have hired business coaches, multiple ones, and at the risk of triggering by using numbers, which I don't mean to do, but just for total openness and honesty, I've invested more than $50,000 in business coaches. And I learned a lot from every single one of them. They gave me tools, strategies, and formulas, things that really do work. But here's the real truth. My results never quite matched the promise. And I noticed that I wasn't the only one with that experience. So for those of you here who have worked with a business coach, was your experience that you didn't quite see the growth that you were hoping for or expecting? Yeah, okay. So what's really going on here? I mean, clearly, the strategies, the programs, the tactics that all these business coaches have, they all work. After all, they work for them and for some of their clients. But the question is, why don't they work for everyone? This question made it clear to me that it's not about the strategies. It's not about following their systems. There must be something else that's going on that either allows success or prevents it. And thinking about that helped me to learn something really critical. The most important ingredient in a business is not a killer sales page or a perfectly crafted Instagram caption or, a slick enrollment script. I was using the powerful strategies that my coaches handed me. But I realized that too often those strategies somehow felt off. They didn't quite align with me, with who I am and how I wanted to be in my business. I hadn't yet discovered that what to do in a business and how to do it is only a part of the equation. And actually, it's a pretty small part. What was missing was me, my authenticity, my energy, my values. I had all the strategies I could use. What I was missing was alignment, was a way of doing business that actually felt like mine. Now, let's be real. If you've been doing everything right, you're getting crystal clear about what you do, and you're marketing your services, you're using all the strategies others have recommended, but you're still not getting the results that you want, it's not because you were broken or that those strategies are bad. It's just that those strategies weren't built for you. See, your efforts aren't landing because they're not quite aligned with who you really are in a deep and authentic way. The real problem behind stalled launches or awkward marketing, or sometimes just that nagging feeling of this just isn't me, it's not strategy. That's not the problem. It's misalignment. Because you see, the most important ingredient in your business is you. You showing up authentically, aligned, reflecting your real power. Running your business when it's not aligned with you is, well, kind of like running a marathon in somebody else's shoes. This is not a comfortable endeavor. Now, here are some other signs that you might be suffering from some misalignment in your business. Do you find yourself procrastinating on things that you know you should be doing? Or do you feel icky or kind of like an imposter when you're selling? Or are you just plain exhausting from doing things that drain you? I want you to think of a business task that you frequently avoid, something that you know you should do, but never quite seem to get at it. And if you open that action guide, at the top of the first page after the cover, you will notice that there is a place to write down what that activity is that you frequently don't do. What is that one thing that you avoid? And then as you're thinking about that, in the next box down to the left, what are the thoughts that are running through your mind as you think about that thing that you're not doing? What are the stories you're telling yourself? And then in the next box, also, what do you feel in your body as you think about this? I'm thinking, Melinda, of what you said earlier about social media marketing. It doesn't fit for me. When I think about, oh, I have to go post something, I suddenly freeze up and think, oh, I don't know what to say. This isn't going to work. And Oh, it just feels icky to me. Tension in my body. What's going on for you all? Notice whatever tension or resistance or shutdown or something that's going on for you. This is what misaligned energy feels like. Just raise your hand if you felt this misalignment. If like, oh, okay, Tricia, Tony, Melinda, Helen, Rania, great. And none or, okay. Now, I want you to write down in that next box, what is the impact that this misalignment has had on your business and your relationships and your finances? What's the impact on your life of this misalignment? And I would love to hear a response or two from somebody about what the impact has been for you. If you just share that in the chat, or you can just unmute and say it too if you prefer. Either way is good. Yes, Tony.
Thank you, Paul. Great to be here, by the way, with you. I experienced this weird stasis of not doing, and it's a cycle. I don't get anything done, and then I don't do more.
Yes. And so what's the impact of all of that?
Just a flat profile of my business. It's just flat.
Yeah. No growth, no sort of, not much of anything. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing that, Tony. Yeah. Rania, I see a hand there.
Yeah, for me, it attracts the wrong clients because this is not exactly what I'm advocating for myself as a coach. It's just what was told to me to do. So wrong clients come to me and they don't feel the chemistry, but since they come, I say like, okay, let me coach them. But like what Tony says, flat after that. I don't want to continue doing that. This is not what I'm here for.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It attracts the wrong clients. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. And I forgot to mention earlier, I'm happy to answer questions or hear comments at any point during this. Feel free to interrupt. Well, if you could wait till I'm done with a sentence or a paragraph, that'd be great. But I'm happy to talk anytime. Trish says perfection paralysis. Oh my gosh. I know that one really well myself. I'm perfectionist in that way. It's like, okay, it's not quite perfect. I can't quite push this out yet. And meanwhile, 3 years go by and I'm still getting it better. It's getting better and better all the time, but nothing happens. Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing that, Trish. So if this feeling of misalignment feels all too familiar, I want to welcome you to the Club of Misaligned Business Leaders. This is a big club. But I think that it's time to stop paying the membership dues of this club and to find something else, a new way to build your business. So how do we build a business that feels like us and that works? Well, first, we need to find this alignment, and then we decide on a strategy. We build your business from the inside out. Now, alignment is kind of a nebulous word. It's hard to put a finger on exactly what that is. But when it's pointed out, you can certainly feel when you're out of alignment, like we just did in that exercise. That's what out of alignment feels like. But as you get used to sort of thinking in this way, you begin to get clearer and clearer on exactly what feeling in alignment is like. And we're going to have a little experience a little later today, hopefully, that will help you to experience that feeling. Now, there are 4 foundational pillars that can help us build our business from the inside out. And these pillars, they form the acronym EVIS. Okay, not a very catchy acronym, I know. I went to ChatGPT actually to see if I could get some help in coming up with something a little better, but it just got weirder from there. So I said, okay, I'm just going to stick with EVIS. And the way I remember it is I think about Elvis, only I take out the swagger and the L. Okay, now we've got it.
That's
So, yeah. So, what do these letters stand for? Well, they stand for energy, values, intention, and yes, strategy. Now, there's a place in the action guide where you can write this down as well, at the bottom of page 2. Now, what I want to do today is I want to sort of walk through each 4 of these so you can see how together they begin to unlock clarity, energy, flow, and maybe more equally importantly, profit. So let's take a look at this first pillar, energy. Have you ever noticed how some tasks leave you lit up and others leave you drained? We've already heard from a couple of you of examples of that. Rania would attract the wrong clients and go through a coaching session, sort of feel drained by that. Oh, well, this is not a coincidence. This is your energy talking, and it's your first compass in building your business. Because when you ignore it, you burn out. And when you honor it, you thrive. Now, get this. 42% of small business owners say that they've experienced burnout in the last month. Ooh. And another 24 are in burnout right now. As I said, this club of misaligned business leaders, it's a big club. If you go to the top of the next page of the action guide, I want you to think about your last week and quickly jot down a couple notes here about what are 3 tasks that you did last week that gave you energy? And then what are 3 tasks you did that, well, sucked the life out of you? Now, these 2 lists that you just created, these are your do more of this list and either delegate or ditch that list. So now we've begun to sort of see, oh, this is what gives you energy. These are the things you need to be doing. One really powerful business coach that I worked with some said, you want to stay in your zone of genius. And everything else you either want to automate, delegate, or just not do to keep you doing what you are most powerful at doing. Now, just out of curiosity, and let's do this. Well, you can do it in the chat or live. Sometimes it's more fun live if you just unmute. What is one thing, one task in your business that you'd love to never have to do again? Well, what would that be? Anything you'd never like to do again? Keep books or
social media posting, Paul. I'll just be a broken record.
Great. That's great. This is powerful information for you, Linda. So thank you for sharing that and for noticing it. Marketing to Sharon. Yeah.
Yes. Anything having to do with marketing sucks the energy out of me.
Okay. What a good thing to know. Trish says, I agree with you, Melinda. You got somebody else in your club there. Yeah. This is great. So getting clear on what gives you energy and what doesn't, this is where alignment begins. Because we want to be designing your business, shall we say, to fuel you rather than flatten you. Now, the second pillar are values. And your values are really core to your business's success because you see, they shape every decision and how engaged you are when you take action, whether you're conscious of this or not. My guess is those of us who have trouble, well, I'll speak for myself. When I feel like I need to be posting on social media and I don't want to, I'm never very engaged and my posts aren't very effective or good, and it takes a long time to get them. It doesn't quite go with my values. Something's out of sync there. Values are what inform your authenticity. Now, one of my values is freedom. Unfortunately, there was a time when a business strategy I had selected tied me to my laptop for 10 hours a day and sort of pulled me away from my family. This is not exactly freedom, right? That particular strategy was not one for me. Now, if you go down to Pillar 2 on page 3 of your action guide, what are 2 or 3 values that are really important to you for your business? And if you're willing, I would encourage you to share 1 or 2 of those values in the chat or live, either way. Consistency, Rania says. Great. What other values are floating around up there? My guess is you all know this, but just to make it really clear, there are no right and wrong values. They're just the ones that you have. Being of service to others, says Melinda. Terrific. What other values do we have in this room? Tony says, connecting with people on a deeper level. Great, that connection, yeah.
Yeah, I want to ditto that. I was going to say like building like longer term relationships. I don't
Okay.
like coaching one-off clients. I like longer term. That's a value for me because I want to go deep and make whatever work we're doing more transformative.
Mm.
So that's a value for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you build your business, when that value sort of stands in the forefront, that helps you decide some things like, well, do I want to coach one-off? No, I want packages because this is my value. This reflects who I believe I am and how I can help people the most.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Sharon says honest engagement. Yeah, these are great. These are great. So now ask yourself, if you ignored those values you wrote down, how likely would it be that your business will succeed or grow in the way that you want it to grow? I see Tony shaking his head. That's not going to work. Same with Trish. Yeah. Okay. Getting clear about your values as it is reflected in your business is really important. This is why copying someone else's strategy rarely works, because you can't outsource authenticity. And values help to clarify what's authentic for you and what's not. Now, the third pillar is intentions. Now, intentions, as coaches, you probably know, it's not about what you're doing, but it's about how you do it. This is kind of the difference between hustling out of fear or creating out of clarity. Intentions guide the way in which you engage. They keep your strategy rooted in your soul rather than in stress. Now, an example of an intention around business building might be, let's see, I intend to build my business with curiosity and ease. Okay, that's one intention. Or I intend to honor my energy and trust the process. And that could be for business or for anything else. That's an example of what intentions could sound like. Under pillar 3, on page 3, what is one sentence that captures sort of how you intend to move through your business just in the next 30 days? What's one intention you have for your business for the next month? Then if you've got that written down, I would love to hear some of these in the chat or live, either way. What's an intention you have for the next 30 days for your business? How do you want to show up? Put it aside and enjoy my training and vacation. I love it. Beautiful. That will re-energize you so that when that time comes back, you're ready. It's like, okay, I had my break. Great. Someone else was going to say something. Tony wrote, I want to harmonize my authentic self and my intentions for my business. Okay. I intend to be authentic and in harmony with who I really am. Beautiful. Yes, you've got a lot of good reactions there from that one. Who else is willing to share? I will only take on clients I want, not the ones I need. Okay. I'm a student of executive coaching, so I don't actually have a business yet. I'm scheduling free coaching sessions with prior coworker to help her work out an issue she's having. It's an important opportunity to practice my skills. Great. Perfect, Helen. Oops, there's one I missed from Melinda. Outline what a retreat would look like where I can work with clients over an extended period of time. Okay, so that's kind of a what you're going to do. Outline the retreat, Melinda. How do you want to be while you're doing that? What would the intention for how you want to be?
I like that question, and I liked Minora's comment about the deeper work. I think that's what was connecting with me, was really trying to have longer time, deeper time, instead of these like little short touch points.
Yeah. So how do you want to be over the next 30 days when you're building on creating this deeper connection? Who do you want to be in yourself? How do you
I
want to
think I really want to focus on that like emotional attunement, I think is
Okay.
what I want to work on.
Okay. I intend to be emotionally attuned to myself, to my clients, to situation. Great. I love that. I love that. And so when you think about that, how does it feel to move forward in that way?
It feels more authentic. It feels like it's coming from a more genuine internal place.
Great. I love
Yeah.
that. That's power. Now he says, intend to be in flow, authentic engagement, and learning. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Ooh, intentions. They're such a cool thing when we think about how we want to be in this world, not just what we want to do, but how do we want to be when we're doing that. Now, before we get to the very last pillar, which is the strategy, there is one roadblock that silently derails even the most talented coaches and entrepreneurs. And this is a roadblock that can prevent you from fully carrying through with honoring your energy, value, and intentions. This roadblock is your inner critic. It's this little voice in your head, you know, the one that says, you're not cut out for this, or you're terrible at sales, or you never follow through, or we all have our, 1,000 or so ways we talk to ourselves in this way. These are not just random thoughts. These inner critic thoughts, they shape how you show up, even when your conscious intention may be something else. They can sabotage even the best laid plans before you start. Because here's the truth around this. You can have The perfect strategy that's supported by the clearest energy, values, and intention. But if your inner narrative is working against you, you're still going to have trouble making any real headway on your business. This is why a big part of my work and the topic of my book, which you may have learned about last time I was here, Thoughts on Demand, is in helping coaches and entrepreneurs rewire these thoughts in our heads so that our mindset becomes a source of energy and inspiration and alignment. Now, if you were here last time I talked, you have some sort of sense of sort of the power that this framework has, and how it can make such a difference when you're, well, building a business or having a relationship or doing anything for that matter. So that is one roadblock I want to just point out that you can sort of pay attention to. However, once you have aligned your energy, values, and intentions, and you've gotten that pesky inner critic out of the way, then, of course, we come to the fourth pillar, strategy. Yes, strategy does matter. How you talk about your business, how you find clients, how you serve them, how you communicate with them, how you bring them into your world, this all matters. But here is a real secret. Strategy only works when it's aligned with you. When you get clear about your energy, values, and intentions first, when your strategy is a reflection of you. Because you see, strategy without alignment, it's just stressful. And strategy with alignment brings a sense of flow. In building our business, so many of us get stuck asking, well, questions that don't matter so much. Things like, well, which funnel is going to work best, or which kind of post will convert the best for me? I suggest we upgrade this question. You know, Tony Robbins says, if you want a better answer, you got to ask a better question. What about this question? Which strategy aligns with my energy, values, and intentions? Seems to have, it's going to be much more stable. When you lead with you and then align your energy, values, and intentions, the strategy that you then decide on, it finally has something to stand on. Now, there are dozens of strategies to grow a business. Funnels, networking, referrals, public speaking, social media, partnerships, paid ads, email lists, high-ticket offers, group programs. This list can go on and on and on. In fact, if you are interested, I have a free resource for you. It's an extensive listing of marketing channels, complete with comments for each. And Rania, was there a link I had sent you for this? I'm going to write it in the chat in any case. Here, if you click on that, you can fill out your email and you can immediately download a copy. But you will also get an email so that you can download this later. You don't want to be thinking about it right now. There will also be some other resources that I will send to you. I've tried to make this as valuable to you as possible. Yes, the link, Rania, that you just put in, that we can use that one a little bit later. I think I've mixed up and there was a second link that we forgot to send you. My apologies. But the first link that I put in about aligned marketing, everybody able to find that if you want to? Yeah, okay. Now,
I deleted the link that I put, so now people see yours.
oh, I see.
Last one.
Ah, I didn't know you could do that. That's cool. You're Zoom expert, Rania. So here are some curious questions. What is one strategy that you have felt pressure to use and one that you're generally genuinely curious about to explore more deeply, even if you don't know. And if you look at the top of page 4 in your action guide, these questions appear there. Write down one strategy that you have felt pressured to use. My guess is that social media marketing may be the one for some of us. I can't tell you how many times I heard at the beginning of my business, oh, you have to be everywhere. You have to be on Facebook, and you have to be on LinkedIn, you have to be on Instagram, and you have to be on, what was it called, Twitter, and you have to be everywhere. You have to. So what is one that you've felt pressured to use? And what's one that you're actually kind of curious about, even if you really don't know how to go about it? Tony says, writing a blog and maintaining my website. Which one is that, the first or the second? Trish says, social media marketing is your least favorite. Okay. Linda says, I love writing. So that's a strategy I could lean into more. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, this is where strategy starts, not by choosing what's popular or what somebody tells us, oh, you have to do this, but by noticing what feels like you. What excites you, your energy, because that's what you're going to, first of all, follow through on, and that's what you're going to do the best at. There are a million ways to run a business. Now, here's a bonus reflection for you, which is the next question, under the last one under pillar 4. What kind of support might help you explore that next aligned strategy with more clarity and confidence? What would help you? What kind of support do you need? Or maybe not that you need, but what kind of support would be helpful to you as you explore doing something new? And if you're willing to share, I would love to hear what some of the answers are to this question. Positive feedback that I'm on the right track. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes as we're in the middle of building our business ourselves, especially if it's kind of new to us, it's hard sometimes to see the signs that, oh yeah, this is working or it's not. Even when we recognize the feeling inside, that's the part you know, Tony. That's the part I can't tell you, but you can recognize this feels good to me. But is it what's building your business? Sometimes that can be hard to see from the inside. Yeah. Who else? Linda, spending some time journaling to get clarity around where I should focus my energy. Great. Nanor, carving out time to engage in the strategy. Okay. After you found your energy and your values and your intention and decided on a strategy, it does take some time. Absolutely. That's great. So my message here is that building a business is not about the tactics. It's about building a business that reflects your energy, honors your values, and is guided by your intentions. And yes, includes some smart aligned strategy. Because when all 4 of these pillars that we've talked about today are in place, your business doesn't just work. It feels like it's yours. Now, when I made this shift, when I finally aligned my energy, values, and intentions with a strategy, this is when everything changed for me and my business. Again, at the risk of openness and triggering people, I'm just going to say what's honest. I went from making about 30K a year to bringing in 30K in 6 weeks, complete with a waiting list. But
Wow.
here's the surprising part. I didn't overhaul my marketing. I didn't launch some flashy new funnel. The only real change was this internal alignment. And that is what created the momentum that shifted everything. And this felt magical, even though it wasn't magic. It was just me finally showing up in a way that fit, that felt true to me. And that's what I want for you, not just more revenue, but more resonance in your business, more ease, more traction, more results that really feel like you. So I'd like to take just a few minutes here briefly and to see if we can help you find the feeling of alignment. So you can put your pen down or your typing fingers, and I'm going to lead you through just a brief guided visualization here. And this visualization, some people love visualizations and easily see things in their mind. Other people have trouble with that, and they're both fine. They're both okay. If seeing things that I'm describing isn't something that's easy for you, see if you can tap into the memory of a feeling that feels aligned, that you love, or sound. Bring some other, what does it feel like in your body when things are similar to what I'm describing? So go with whatever works for you. This is all good. So take a breath. And yeah, deep breath and let out on your exhale. Just sort of let go of whatever tension you might be feeling. Let's take one more breath and just sort of let go of any worries or concerns or mental gyrations. Just be here for the moment. And I want you to imagine yourself in your business 6 months from now. But this time it's feeling a little different because you are doing work that energizes you. You're honoring your values in every decision you make. You're moving with intention, not urgency. And your strategies feel like a natural extension of who you are, not something that you're forcing. And you notice that clients are just showing up. And they're not just any clients. They're the ones that are really the right fit for you. The ones that you love to serve. Notice how this feels. Is there a sense of confidence or calm? Are things feeling clear to you? Are you enjoying the process? Pause here and let yourself really feel it. Does it feel light? Is there a sense of flow and ease? A sense of freedom? Now, when you're ready, I invite you to come back to this room, to this time and space. And I want you to take just a minute to jot down in the action guide at the bottom of page 4 what you just experienced. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. I don't want to rush you, but if you've had enough time on that, you could go to the top of the next page. And I would love you to answer, what is one thing that you're going to do differently in your business starting this week? Just one small shift based on this vision that you have that could bring more alignment. And I would love to hear in the chat, what are some of those one things that you will do differently? When we say out loud something we intend to do, much more likely to actually follow through. Work on getting clients that align with me and bring passionate joy. Beautiful, Helen. I see your message, Sharon. That's great. We all work through everything in our own way, at our own time. What other one thing are you going to do this week? To recover my core values and focus on them and write a journal and blog entry to reinforce them for myself. Beautiful, Tony. This is great. Set aside dedicated time for writing. Be brave and thank my inner critic for protecting me. Yes, but reach out to more people by phone. Beautiful, real connection. I love it. These are simple little things, but really powerful. Set aside dedicated time for writing. Yeah, thank you for sharing all of that. So when I'm working with my clients about sort of helping them build their business through finding alignment first, it was for this reason that I created what I'm calling the cash blueprint for business building. And this is a framework that helps coaches and entrepreneurs know what their business needs in order to thrive. But it's also one that not only leaves space for them to show up authentically, it actually relies on it. This is not just about the tactics. It's about building a business that reflects your energy, honors your values, and is guided by your intentions. Because as I said, when all four pillars we've talked about today are in place, your business doesn't just work, it feels like you. Now, I want you to know you don't need a total overhaul in your business. You just need one small shift, because that can often reopen the whole flow. Now, let's kind of bring this home a little bit. We've talked about why misalignment is the real reason most strategies fail and the costs of that misalignment. We've talked about the four pillars of authentic business growth, and we've explored how alignment feels and what it does. You don't need to become someone else in order for your business to succeed. You just need to become more of you on purpose. That's where the real success, real impact, and yes, real income comes from. But of course, it's not always as simple as things sound. You can know all of this, but still feel that familiar pull of misalignment, the one that tells you to keep doing things the same way you've been doing and keeps you getting the same results. And if you don't address that negative self-talk, it can derail the entire train. One experience like this talk doesn't usually change the entire world, just hopefully gets it started. And misalignment, it will rarely resolve itself. Left unchecked, the impact usually grows. Left unchecked, that inner critic will still be there a year from now, and the struggle will still be present. But what if you could take a simple step to change that? If you want to follow up on these ideas, if you don't want to be stuck in the same place next year, here's the step that I encourage you to take. And Rania, this is a great place for that other link. If you scan this QR code or click on the link that Rania is just now putting in the chat, you can fill out a brief application, schedule a one-on-one alignment session with me. We're going to explore sort of where misalignment might be holding you back, look at a few practical strategies to help you move forward. And, well, if you're curious, of course, I'm happy to share how I support my clients. But there's no cost, no obligation to this. It is just a chance to take a bold step that can turn your learning into results. You'll also find this link at the last page of your action guide if you want. Now, I wish, of course, I could offer this to everyone, but because of time, I'm limiting this to just 5 spots. So if this really does feel like your next right step, I'd encourage you to jump. These spots have a tendency to go kind of quickly. And today is a great day to take that next bold step. Thank you so much for your attention and your engagement today. This has been great fun for me. And I see a question. Nanur, yes.
Thank you so much, Paul. I have a question regarding, the part where it was the warning, the roadblock part. And I wrote a few things down there, and then you talked about your book. If I were to get your book, would that help me kind of quiet some of those, they're not even gonna find value in, maybe they're not even ready. Why am I gonna bother them now?
Yes. Well, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future, but that is the intention of the book, is to
That's
make
the
that
intention.
possible
Okay, great.
and to make it helpful. I do walk through the process that I use with my clients to reprogram our thoughts and sort of the
Amazing.
whole basis behind it and how and why. I'll also let you know I have an online course that my clients go through that also help them step through that process. So that's another option as well. And another free option on my YouTube channel. There is a video series that's called Inner Critic Remedy. And that is, shall we say, a Reader's Digest condensed version of the book. I think there's like 7 or 8 videos, but it sort of goes through each thing. So that's another way for you to connect with that.
Oh, okay. If you could share that with us, we can send that also to our community when we send more information about you. Perfect. Thank you.
I will put right now in the chat. I can't do things together. There's a link to my YouTube channel.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll find it from there.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? I hope this was inspiring and relieving to you. I see your head nodding, Tony. That's good. And Melinda and Trish. Yay, that was my intention, to show up authentically and to help you feel more authentic and more grounded and inspired by your own energies. That was my intention. Thank you, Lori, for your kind comment. Any other questions about things? Or just comments? Trish, was that a hand? Oh, Tony? No.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
So Paul, we talked about inner critic a lot. Can you give a brief synopsis of how your inner critic was leading you astray, and what was the interplay of inner critic and alignment?
The interplay is that the inner critic keeps you misaligned. It has you listening to other people's voices, to what you think other people expect of you. It helps you listen to everything but your own little, still small voice within. This is the loud voice within, the inner critic. What we want is the still small one. Yeah. So that voice keeps us misaligned. It keeps me thinking things like, well, Facebook is really a place I need to be, and I need to do this. And that's a place where a lot of my clients would be. So I have to be there. I don't like social media. It doesn't fit. And I finally got sufficiently aligned that I canceled my Facebook account this week because I thought, I don't want it. Yeah, it's great for
Thank
some
you.
people. I have a friend and a colleague who gets most of his clients through Facebook. It fits him. It's a powerful thing. It's just not mine. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Rania, would you?
Yes, so thank you, Paul, again, and thank you all for attending. That was very eye-opener, especially with the worksheet that we had here. So thank you. And we want to know your opinion about today's session so we can always bring you the topics that you want and that will help your business grow and help you as a coaches grow. So we are going to put in the chat a link for our survey, and we want your honest opinion that will help us when now we are working on the programs for next year. That will help us a lot know exactly what you want, and we cater for your needs. So it's in the chat box. It only takes like a couple minutes for you to fill it out. Nanor thankfully put the link in the chat, so please just click on it, and even after the session ends, you can have couple minutes to fill out the survey. And that means that you are going to receive your CCEUs for attending the session right away. So you don't have to wait. But again, we are going to send it again with an email. So just in case, you'll have it here, and again, you will have it with the chat. All the links that Paul put in the chat today will be sent with the email, the after email that goes to all of you. So you will not miss on anything here. And this session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So please check our YouTube channel within a day or two. You'll have the session there as well. So I just want to remind you that September is a very busy month for us. We always like to see you, and this month we have multiple events. So like we said today, this is the third event of the month that we had already. So that's how busy this month is for us. Our next event will be on September 12th, and that's a multi-chapter event. The title of it is Coach and Client, a deep dive into why values matter and how to apply them to all the relationships. So it's another angle of what we talked about today. So please go to our website, sign up, register for this event. And also we have our in-person chapter meeting that will be on September 18th. It's a Thursday at 6 p.m. We have Christopher Veal coming, and he was going to talk about coaching and vulnerability. So that will be there, and you will receive 2.5 CCEUs when you attend the session. And at the end of the month, September 30th, we have the coaching gym where we come, all of us, we come and we coach one another, we observe and we grow as coaches. We have a hands-on experience, and that will be on September 30th at 11 a.m. So these are the events for the month of September. We always like to see all of you attending. Even last month was a month off for us, but we said we cannot have a month without seeing our members. So we had beach party to see you. We cannot go 1 month without seeing you. So looking forward to see you in all these events, virtual and in person. Thank you, Paul, again for the informative session, and thank you all. It was a wonderful session. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.